Okay, so today's video, I'm going to be talking about kind of the do's and don'ts about going to a Catholic Mass. And the reason I'm doing this video is because there's a lot of people who come on here and ask me a lot of these questions, like what do I wear to Mass? Like what do I do? When do I stand? When do I sit? When do I kneel? All of those things. So pretty much, I want to do this video to encourage you to go to a Catholic Mass. Even if you're not Catholic, you are always welcome to go to a Catholic Mass. And if you are new here, please subscribe. I would love to have you a part of this awesome community of people. So let's get into it. I have a whole list of like do's and don'ts and kind of break it down so that hopefully you won't be intimidated and that you will know that you are welcomed into the Catholic Mass. So the first thing that I want to say, this is the most important out of all of these that I'm going to say, is that if you are not Catholic, or if you're baptized Catholic but it's been a while since you've been to Catholic Mass, then do not receive the Holy Eucharist. That is the biggest thing that I would say about this, because this is a very sacred thing. We believe that, you know, when people go up and receive the Eucharist, that is truly Jesus. So we ask in the Catholic faith that you are Catholic if you receive the Holy Eucharist, or that, you know, if your soul is in, you know, has a sin on it, which if you don't go to church every Sunday, then you need to go to confession for that. So that's one thing. So if you have mortal sin or you're not practicing Catholic, then we ask that you don't receive, that you just kind of stay in your pew or go up and you can receive a blessing. You just put your hands like this and the priest will bless you, or whoever's up there will bless you. And no one will look at you funny. It's nothing to be ashamed of or anything like that, but that is something to honor the Catholic faith. And it's not to exclude people. It's just that we want people to know what they're getting into when they receive the Holy Eucharist. And so, so that is the most important thing about anything about the Catholic Mass, because the Holy Eucharist is the end all be all. Like that is truly Jesus present in the Holy Eucharist. So I'm going to start with that one. But the other ones that I have to say are pretty easy, no big deal. So the next thing is you want to genuflect. So what that means is just going down on your right knee before you go into the pew. So the pew is like where everybody sits, and you'll just want to go down on your right knee, and then you usually make the sign of the cross. If you don't know how to make the sign of the cross, then just go down on your right knee before you go into your pew. That is because in the church, most churches, they should have the tabernacle up front. And so the tabernacle, it is the gold, usually it's gold, but it's like a box, and it has a red candle near it. And the red candle means that Jesus is inside of the tabernacle. So because of that, because he is God and he is the King of all kings, we bow down and we kneel before entering the pew. So so that's what that is all about. And so we do that when we leave as well. So after Mass is all done, we'll genuflect again and make the sign of the cross, and then we'll leave. Do keep quiet. So no talking during Mass, or if you go early, try not to whisper. I mean, sometimes, you know, I have my little kids and they're asking me questions, so of course I have to like respond, but you know, whispering, but only if you need to. You really should be quiet. This isn't a time to be talking to friends and stuff like that. This is a time to kind of get yourself in a holy place, to, you know, be in the holiest celebration that we have here on earth. So do fast. If you do start going to Catholic Mass, do fast an hour before you go to Mass. So no eating or drinking. You can have water and you can take medications if you need to, but they do say to, you know, fast an hour before you go to Mass. The next thing is to arrive on time or early. It's best to arrive a little bit early and just have some quiet time before, you know, the whole celebration starts, and just like bring yourself to be in the presence of God, because God is truly there, and his, you know, the angels are surrounding him and all of that. So it's recommended to come even just a little bit earlier, but like at least don't be late for Mass. The next thing is to dress like you're dressed for a wedding feast. So I get a lot of questions over on my Instagram about stuff like this, you know, like, what do I wear? I'm going to a Catholic wedding. Like, what do I wear? Like, I'm thinking about being Catholic. What do I wear to a Catholic Mass? And really, you want to dress as if you're going to a wedding feast, because this is the highest celebration that we have here on earth. And so if you're going to a wedding feast, like, you want to dress up, you want to look good, you want to dress for the king. So that's about that. So you just want to dress really nice. You know, I have a whole video on, you know, Vatican City, you have to dress a certain way, but you do want to be modest if you're a woman or a man, and have everything covered, you know, and also just look really nice. Like, I always wear a dress to Mass, and that's because that's what I would wear to a wedding, you know, is a nice dress, and I would do my hair nice and makeup and all that. So so you want to present yourself beautifully at church. Okay, so the next thing that I highly recommend is to give money. I just say that personally because, you know, I believe that we are supposed to give, you know, to the church. The church doesn't say we have to give a certain amount or anything like that, but I know 10% means tithe, and we're called to tithe, you know, and stuff. So even if it's a couple of dollars, I just encourage you, because it is true, like, the church does have to pay for the building that you're in, like the air conditioning, the heat, the lights, that, you know, all of that. The priest has to eat, and so pretty much you're just, you know, they'll usually pass around a basket or something like that, and you'll just put, you know, money in there, if you, whatever you can give. God loves a generous giver, so I try to be generous myself, because I know that pleases God. And then as far as like doing what to do, like, it's really simple. All you have to do is follow what the people around you do, and you'll be fine, you know. So so I tell people to sit, you know, like where you can see what other people are doing. Some people love sitting in the very front, some people love sitting in the middle, and some people love sitting in the back. Wherever you are, it is important to focus on the Mass. Like, that is why we're there, is to be in union with God during Mass. So so just kind of follow what the rhythm of the Mass, and you'll see what people do, and you just do that. It's super easy. And then if you are Catholic, you should be bowing before you receive the Holy Eucharist, because it is Jesus that we are receiving. If you have children who are being loud and crying, I know, like, you know, the church is all about new life and children and stuff, but it can be a distraction. I have 4 small children. I'm pregnant with my 5th right now, and I don't, for me as a mom, like, I would love to stay in there the whole Mass, but if my children are distracting, I don't want to distract other people from the focus of the Mass, right? So we usually go in the back, or they have a cry room at our place. So but children are encouraged to go to Mass. I mean, God loves children so much. He loves their prayers. It's very important that we, you know, take our families every week. That is a part of our family. I have videos on that, but if they are too loud, you know, if they're a distraction to people, then just quietly, like, go in the back and, you know, and stuff. I know it's not ideal, but it is, you know, for people who are trying to enter into that prayer mode. Another thing is, don't eat anything in the church. This is a very sacred place, so no eating or drinking in the church. No chewing gum. Like, don't chew gum. Like, it's so disrespectful in church. Men, don't wear anything on your head. You should not be wearing anything on your head, no hats or anything like that. Don't leave early. This is a huge one. I see it all the time. That the last song during Mass is actually part of the Mass. That is a prayer. So you want to stay till the very end, till the last song is still going on and it ends. And even then you can stay and pray and thank God for, you know, Mass or whatever it is. But stay until the last song is done. Then Mass is completely over and you can leave. Some churches are great with that. Other churches, I've had churches where me and my family were the only ones left, and it's like, it's kind of embarrassing. It's kind of weird. You're like, but Mass is still going on like this, even though the priest usually leaves by then. The song is still going. Like, that is part of the Mass. Don't watch what other people do unless you're like watching to see if they're like sitting, standing, kneeling, you know, all of that. But I'm talking about if people are going up to receive Jesus and, you know, you're seeing how they receive Jesus, or, you know, how they're acting, if they're bowing, if they're wearing, you know, headdresses, or I highly recommend close your eyes, because that is for God to judge, and God to judge alone. You don't want to be judging people while you're in such a sacred place. That is not the time to judge people. That is between God and them. So if that is something you struggle with, then close your eyes during, like, when you receive, when you're praying, whatever it is, because those aren't for that doesn't make us closer to God, or, you know what I mean? Like, we are not called to judge people. We're called to love them. And that is, like I said, between them and God, how they receive, how they do things, and all of that. So, also no technology. So turn off your phone completely if you are in Mass. Yeah, so those are the ones that I have. If you are Catholic and I've forgotten some, definitely put them down below. But it's really not scary, and you all are so invited. It is such a wonderful, glorious thing, and Jesus can't wait to be closer to you, you know, like in the Catholic Church and stuff. So I hope that you all will have the courage, and don't worry if you're going by yourself. There's lots of people who go by themselves, you know, at Mass. It's not, you know, something to be worried about. I think it's even better. Well, I say this because I have a lot of kids, but there are times where I get to go to Mass by myself, and I love it so much because I'm less distracted with children and all of that. I get to truly, like, be present with the Holy Eucharist and with Mass and all of that. So so don't be afraid if you are the only one there, you don't want to go to church by yourself. Like, it's actually not like something that people look at it, and you'll see when you go. It's not like something to be nervous about. You can definitely go by yourself without any judgment whatsoever. People keep to themselves more than likely. So anyway, so that's kind of the do's and don'ts of the Catholic Church, like the etiquette, what to do, what not to do. I hope that you will all join us at Mass, and until next time, I will see you all later. God bless. Bye.